What's up, YouTubers? So before we get started with this video, on first take, they're going to be talking to and interviewing the original GOAT, Joe Montana. So let's see what they have to say.
Joe Montana, good morning. Great to have you with us here on First Take.
Thank you for having me. How's everybody this morning?
So for those of you guys who don't know, and you should know, Joe Montana is the original GOAT. He went to 4 Super Bowls and won all 4 Super Bowls. He never lost. This guy is definitely the original GOAT, and some people can I can make a good argument that Joe Montana is still the GOAT. Like I said, he never lost in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady went to 10 or 11 Super Bowls and won 7 of them with 2 different teams, but he still lost. He still lost. Would you rather go to 4 Super Bowls and win all 4 Super Bowls and never lose? Or would you rather go to 10 or 11 Super Bowls and win 7 Super Bowls with 2 different teams? Some people never want to lose.
Great. Thank you for being on the show.
We're all good. We're good. All right, Joe, you know where I'm starting. With the Niners, with the quarterback situation. So Niners GM John Lynch was asked about Jimmy Garoppolo, if he's healthy, does he have any doubt that he's the guy? And he said 0 doubt. At the same time, our Adam Schefter has told us 18 teams are looking at potentially changing their quarterback this offseason, which is just bonkers. What was your reaction to John Lynch's answer?
I think you always have to be behind the players, and who knows what's going on behind the scenes. It's been tough for him staying healthy throughout the time he's been with the 49ers, and I think that becomes a concern if you can't keep him on the field. And I think it's a tough decision with the cap money that he has against him, and so I don't know. You just never know. I never knew they were trying to trade me, but I guess they were too. So you never know what's going on.
So that was a very sad day when I found out that Joe Montana went to the Kansas City Chiefs. That was a very sad day, and he actually did well when he was with the Chiefs. I do believe he made it to the AFC Championship game. I think it was at 93 or 94. Don't quote me on that. But Joe Montana, like I said, he's the original GOAT. He's a good, humble guy. I just wish that he was able to do some sports or NFL commentating so we can pick his brain and, get some of that high football IQ. Because, like I said, he's the original GOAT, arguably the current GOAT. It's just a shame that it's not in his personality to be, in a sports booth, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's just not in his nature. But definitely, the guy's the GOAT.
All behind the scenes back there.
Well, he's definitely won more than this year of games when he's been in the starting lineup. Clearly, durability is his issue. Is that, even though he's missed some games, he did take him to the Super Bowl the year before that. Is that enough? The concerns that they have right now that you believe they probably should move on because durability is such a question mark with him, even though he's still relatively young?
My guess is they because of his age, they'll keep him and they give him another chance at it. This is just my feeling. I stay away from down there. I stay away from football at this point. But I think, like you said, Stephen A., when he's in there, they've had pretty good success in winning, and I think they just try to keep him healthy and see what they can get from there. And if it continues along this way, then I would imagine they try to make a change because it's hard to get any kind of consistency offensively without with moving quarterbacks around in and out. No matter what they say, it's hard to do.
So again, Joe Montana is a good, humble guy. He doesn't want to say anything bad about Jimmy Garoppolo, but I will. So I think they should probably get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and go in a different direction. I just do not trust Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the rock. And a perfect example was in the Super Bowl that he got them to, or helped get them to. With 10 minutes left, Shanahan decided to. Is it Shanahan? I always get the name wrong. Don't quote me on that. Decides to throw the rock with 10 minutes left in the game in the fourth quarter. And when Jimmy Garoppolo is your weakest link on your team, which isn't saying much because it's a very strong team, but nonetheless, Jimmy Garoppolo is the weakest link, and you do not want him passing the ball, which, they showed they weren't too confident with him and throwing the rock throughout the whole playoffs. And then they decided to throw the rock with 10 minutes left and they're up. Instead of running the rock like they've been doing the whole game, which was working, yeah, I do not trust Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the rock. I'd probably move on from him.
Joe, a couple things Molly left off the resume was not only were you 4-0 in the Super Bowl, but you threw 13 touchdowns to 0 interceptions in the Super Bowl. And unlike a lot of great players who simply remain themselves and great under pressure, you consistently got even better when the stakes were the highest. You were one of those
Exactly. That's what Joe Montana was called, the comeback kid, and you guys can look that up.
clutch players, in fact, not just by reputation, of all time. And insofar as there was ever a consensus that there was a GOAT among quarterbacks before Brady, it was you. Joe Montana was the guy, it seems, that Tom Brady has now replaced as the consensus GOAT. How do you feel about that? Is there a GOAT in the NFL? Was it you? Has Brady replaced you?
Well, I think Tom's, taken his place on the top up there a long time ago. So he's had a tremendous career. It's fun to watch. And, yeah, everybody always contests over that. But I think if you look at what Tom's been able to accomplish in his time that he's played, I think puts him definitely up there in the top of the list. There's a lot of great guys. As I said before me, even, you go back to Otto Graham, who won 10 or 11 championships. So it's hard to compare them, but, if you're looking at it, yeah, definitely Tom at that point.
Joe Montana, you know me.
So it's very humble of Joe to say that about Tom Brady. But again, you can make a great argument that Joe is the GOAT, if not the original GOAT, with the 4 Super Bowl wins, unlike Tom Brady, who went to, I can't remember, 10 or 11 Super Bowls and won 7 and did it with 2 different teams. That's, whatever, pick your poison, whichever you want, 4 Super Bowl wins or 7 or whatever. But again, I can't stress enough, it's a shame that Joe Montana, his personality doesn't fit well with sitting in the booth because his football IQ is out the roof.
Well enough because I've interviewed you before. You know how I do. I got to ask you a question because I got something on my mind personally, Joe Montana. I want you to hearken back to the Green Bay Packers, okay, in that NFC Championship game. And I understand that Aaron Rodgers could have ran for the first down, if not a touchdown, on that third down. But that fourth down play, when they took the ball out of his hands, okay, and elected to give the ball back to Tom Brady, I got to ask this question, Joe Montana. How did you feel about that decision, and how would you feel if the ball on fourth down had been taken out of your hands and given back to Tom Brady?
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. At that point in the season, you've worked so hard to get to where you are. It's hard to get there. You got an opportunity to give the NFL MVP a chance to win the game for you. And, I didn't understand that decision at the time. Everybody's, your chances of getting the ball back. But the way that the Tampa Bay was playing at the time, you can't give Brady the ball anytime. And especially in a clutch situation like that, he's going to perform. So I tried to go and score the touchdown. That's just, I'm an offensive player speaking, but in a quarterback, you always want the ball in your hand. And I'm sure, Aaron was probably I guarantee you he feels the same way, if not worse, because it happened to him. But I'm with you. Go
Joe,
for
in a hard cap league, in a hard cap league, you got to rob Peter to pay Paul. If a quarterback's getting X, then another player's getting Y, and it's less than it would have been if the quarterback gets what more of the money. And we have all these quarterbacks now in the explosion of their salaries. Patrick Mahomes, $500 million over 10 years, obviously not all guaranteed. Deshaun Watson, and now Dak wants to get paid as though he's Patrick Mahomes. We know he's not quite Patrick Mahomes. What is your feeling about Dak and the Cowboys situation right now? Do the Cowboys just have to roll over and give him the money?
Give that man his money. He's earned it. And who else are you going to get to go up there and run the Cowboy system the way Dak Prescott does? Give Dak his money.
Well, I think you got it. I mean, he's obviously proven he can play at a high level at that position. And, I think, Mike gives him an opportunity to become a little bit different quarterback and understanding because, Mike McCarthy was with us with the 49ers and then again the Chiefs. And so I know his understanding of the position and how he feels. And I think if you give someone like that a little bit more structure to an offense and understanding that, I think you're going to see the player everybody wants to see. And yeah, I mean,